Back at it again, and I've got this clip here that I want to show you guys because you know how I've said that it's honestly the Democrats that are the horrible, terrible, no good, very bad people. The Democrats are actually everything that they accuse Trump of being, plus some. One being the R word, racist, right? It's Democrats, and there are examples of it everywhere, everywhere. I mean, I literally could probably make an hour-long video on all of the different examples of the, racists of this country actually being Democrats and not Republicans, right? I mean, I could make it entirely, a really expansive video on that. But we gonna keep it short and simple today. I got a clip from Man vs. Street. Shout out to Man vs. Street. Make sure you guys go and show them some major love, all right? But I've got a clip from them that is perfectly going to illustrate yet another reason why Democrats are terrible people. Like, share, comment, and hit that subscribe button if you are new. And let's dive in.
Do you think voter ID laws are racist?
I think so.
Most of the motivation behind them being put into place is rooted in racism.
I think voter ID laws are inherently discriminatory. When you look, the vast majority of people who do not currently have IDs are people of color.
Do you have an ID?
Absolutely.
Can you show us?
Yeah.
What do you have to say to all the people that say black Americans can't get voter ID?
I don't even know why they would say that. We can get the same things that every other American can get. That doesn't even make sense to me.
Bingo. Like, it's absolutely laughable. Like, are black people, like, are we just, like, too slow? Like, are we, like, too stupid or something? I'm curious. Like, what's wrong with us to the point where we can't get an ID? Like, we don't know where to go. Like, we can't drive. We don't have the money. Like, we're all just poor and broke. Like, none of us could work to get any cash or anything. Like, we're just all broke and poor and stupid. That's what Democrats think about black people. We're all broke, poor, and stupid. Huh? Does that sound like a group of individuals that actually likes black people or cares about black people? It doesn't to me. Doesn't to me. But, hey. Let's hear what this next guy has to say. I'm sure it sounded like he was about to blame Republicans for something. Let's check it out.
It makes sense to me.
Republicans are just trying to make it really fucking hard for minorities to vote.
Why do they do that?
Because they hate black people. They fucking hate black people and they're racist.
The black population is, like, historically much more financially, like, disadvantaged.
Today we can sometimes see that sort of continuation of racism through our voting system in, like, education and things like that. And typically people who are less educated are less likely to vote.
You're disproportionately making people who don't have IDs, which are usually people of color, have to go out and pay to vote, which is going to disencourage a lot of those people from voting.
Yeah, this stuff is just absolutely ridiculous, man. And it has to be called out. We cannot let, Democrats run with this idiotic narrative that it's somehow bad to require an ID because black people can't figure it out. What? Like, that's such a slap in the face. Like, it's mind-blowing that the people that claim, oh, we care so much about everybody, would even say something like that. Like, huh? Let's continue.
Do you have an ID?
I do,
Can you show us your ID?
for sure.
What would you say to all the people that say black Americans can't get voter ID?
Seek help. I mean, in America, the legacy of white supremacy, of perpetuating negative stereotypes for black and brown bodies. That's why they would think like that, but it's 2023, man, almost 2024. It's time to seek help for that.
So do you think voter
Facts! Talk that talk! That's facts! Seek help! The legacy of white supremacy within the Democrat Party. Because, it's always been, actually, you know what? That's a great point she brought up. Now that I'm thinking, how Democrats always accuse Republicans of being the white supremacists? Yeah. I think it's actually Democrats. Always has been and always will be. You know, Democrats were the ones that wanted slavery and wanted to keep the slavery. Yeah. But then they claimed the party switched. They never did because, you know, Democrats, they've always been racist, always have been, and always will be. So, you know, they can't help but to try to bring back some of the same policies. Y'all remember when Democrats were, you know, clapping and applauding for segregated college graduations? Yeah, interesting that we fought hard to get away from segregation, and now Democrats want to take us back to segregation. Just kind of weird how that works, you know. But Democrats, they're not the terrible people. Remember, it's Republicans. Even though Democrats want to segregate us again, it's Republicans that are the bad people. That's what the media tells me. And of course, we're supposed to always believe the media, right? Oh, that's a load of crap. Every bit of it, all BS. It's always been Democrats and always will be. They are the worst people imaginable. You know, they'll smile in your face and put a knife in your back. The worst people imaginable, man.
ID laws suppress the African American vote.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why?
They might like require like a specific type of ID, like when I had to get a new passport, it was like over $100, so that definitely also like roots out the lower classes like in general.
They're not going to want to vote if they have to go spend all that money to be able to do so.
A lot of minorities are suffering from poverty. When you make people pay money to get IDs, a lot of times people just won't vote. They won't think it's worth it. They don't have the extra money to spend, you know? Yeah, they're not going to put like the couple dollars that they have into voting for somebody who's probably not even going to help them out.
Do you have an ID?
Yes, I do.
Can you show us your ID? Perfect. What do you have to say to all the people that say that Black Americans can't get voter ID?
Well, I think it's pretty stupid. Like we're in a country where all of us are majority educated and we have the resources at our hands and our disposal to easily find these things. So I think anybody saying that is just dumb. Like that's a really ignorant and stupid thing to say.
Why do you think it's so much harder for Black Americans to obtain voter ID?
It's generally the history of racism. Like we say we fixed it, but the system was basically built from the ground up in racism.
Do you think it suppresses the African American vote?
Yes, I do.
Why?
In the past, we've seen, you know, African Americans being given like tests that have nothing to do with what voting is about, just in order to obtain a voting license or voter identification. So I think that that's something that we're still seeing remnants of today.
What do you have to say to all the people that say Black Americans can't get voter ID?
I say it's really a lie. It's all on really the person. If the person really want to get their ID, they can go get it. It's nothing really stopping them.
Why do you think it's harder for Black Americans to obtain voter ID?
Well, it's a class issue, and because of systemic racism, it's usually people of color, so Black Americans, who are at the bottom of the socioeconomic classes, which means that they will have the most trouble like having to pay to go get voter ID laws or voter IDs.
You motherfuckers racist as hell. Why the fuck wouldn't black people have that? What's the difference between us and you?
Do you think it's harder for
Bingo. I'll tell you what the difference is, brother. That right there. Because of this, the extra melanin, they think that we're too stupid, too lazy, too broke, too helpless to do anything for ourselves. That's the difference, brother. That is the difference. The big difference between Republicans and Democrats. Republicans don't care about your skin color. You know, treat everybody the same. Nobody gets any special treatment. We don't care who you are. Whether you're tall, short, fat, skinny, you know, black, white, don't matter. Everybody gets treated the same. Democrats, on the other hand, if you got some of this, you must have had a really hard life. I know you can't obtain an ID. Oh, I feel so bad for you. You must have had a terrible upbringing.
Black Americans to sign up online to get their voter ID?
Harder, not necessarily, but less likely, yes.
Why?
In underfunded communities due to, redlining and gerrymandering, we see that there's lower education in those specific areas, which have a high amount of, minorities. And when you're less educated, you're less likely to vote. And I think that that's what makes it so difficult for people of color to vote.
Seek help. Medical professionals are everywhere. Mental health is a priority, and
Yeah, all you Democrats, man, y'all need to seek help. Seek help immediately. You've got some issues. If you still support the Democrat Party, you've got some major issues. And if you saying stuff like what we heard here from these Democrats, bro, man, you might as well just put the hood back on. You might as well just put the white hood back on your head. I mean, you already there. You already there. you might as well just slide it back on. Grab you a white robe too. Goodness gracious. You might as well, okay? Oh my goodness. But yet another perfect example of Democrats being the horrible, terrible, no good, very bad people that they always accuse Republicans and Donald Trump of being. How crazy is that? Hey. But as I always say, man, y'all let me know your thoughts and your opinions about this in the comment section below. Like, share, comment. Shout out to Man vs. Street as well for this video clip. Man vs. Street. Make sure you guys go and check him out. All right. Peace and love. I'm out.